driving home another boundary. Sachin Tendulkar has thrilled crowds for nearly 2 decades, breaking records and earning a reputation as one of cricket's greatest ever batsmen. He made his Test debut at the age of 16 and at just 5'5" was soon dubbed the Little Master. Famous around the world, Tendulkar is revered in India as a national hero. But off the pitch, he leads a low-key lifestyle, spending time with his children and wife of 13 years. In 2007, he became only the 3rd batsman to reach 11,000 Test runs, but hit a career lull when many critics speculated he'd retire. Tendulkar, though, soon returned to form and has recently been playing for the Mumbai Indians in the Indian Premier League, the wildly popular domestic tournament which wraps up this weekend. We meet in Mumbai. Sachin, welcome to the show. It's marvellous to have you with us today.
Thank you very much.
So you're just back from injury, and these days you're on a contract with the IPL. That's an institution which has gotten a huge amount of press recently because of the way that it's sort of reinvented cricket. How's it been for you being such an integral part of something that everyone is talking about?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that I'm extremely happy that I'm part of the inaugural year of the IPL tournament, because I have no doubts that it's going to be a huge success. People have already started talking about IPL all over the world, and I'm not talking only about the cricket enthusiasts. I'm talking about the people who didn't actually know anything about cricket have started actually talking about IPL. So that is a clear indication that the tournament is going to go a long way, and I think it's a lot to do with the families. The outings in the evening. Earlier used to be to the cinemas and watch a movie or a play or something like that. But now it's the evenings could be watched in the form of a cricket match, where the whole family goes out together and they witness a cricket match which is full of action. There is no dull moment there. It's full of excitement.
It definitely is a lot more showy than regular cricket. Did you have any reservations about signing up to something that has been criticised by a lot of people for dumbing down the game?
I don't personally feel that it's dumbing down the game. It's just another version of cricket. The Test cricket is there, and then they started one-day cricket many years ago, and one-day cricket has been a tremendous success, and I don't see any reason, if the game is going to get globalized in the form of IPL or 2020 being introduced, then why not? It's better for cricket.
Let's go back to the start of 2008, right? So you're in Sydney, it's a stunning day. India, sadly, lost the first Test to Australia in Melbourne. You're walking out into the centre of the ground, as you've done, to bat for India so many times. What's going through your head as you've got this massive amount of pressure on you to perform?
Sydney, I've always enjoyed playing in Sydney. It's been a special place for me. I've somehow walked in and I always feel that I'm going to score runs here. I'm going to score big runs here. And the ground has been kind to me. I've scored some runs, and I carried that same confidence. I remember I walked out to bat just after tea time on the second day. And I said the evening period was very important for us. I basically decided that I'm going to play my shots, but I'm going to be selective. I'm going to spend some time in the middle first, and then if I get a ball to put away, I'm going to put it away in the evening. Even though just few overs were left, I said I'm going to do that and continue the next day, and it worked. Whatever I had planned, I was able to execute that. So in the end I ended up scoring 154 or 155, which was rather satisfying.
What about the Aussies? Did you hear, what they were saying at the time as you walk out? Do you converse with each other on that day?
Well, not only with Australians. I mean, it happens all over the world, and a couple of words are exchanged here and there. It's all fine. It's all part and parcel of the game. Sometimes it's in good humor as well, so you just laugh it off and just refocus on the game. There were a lot of things said. I mean, the series was very, very competitive, and we had many challenges along the way, and all those challenges were responded quite nicely by us. And the end of the tour, I felt we lived up to the expectations of our well-wishers, and brought smiles on their faces.
Your performance was undoubtedly stellar on that day, but I guess a lot of people are going to remember that day for being, what happened with Harbhajan Singh, his alleged calling of Andrew Simons as a monkey. We've seen, so much scandal in cricket recently. Harbhajan Singh also in Slapgate, Sehwag Akhtar and his beating of a teammate with a bat, and then Shane Warne and his text messaging issues. What's happened to the game? Is it not for gentlemen anymore?
Well, I mean, all those things, I know they were a bit unfortunate, but there were certain things which were blown out of proportion, and there were certain things which didn't happen. It's not that it's only happening in today's cricket. I mean, it happened earlier also. There were plenty of controversies earlier as well, but now that there's a lot of media attention on the players, and everything is put under microscope, so sometimes it's blown out of proportion, sometimes the player is at fault. So it's just that there is a lot of hype, and the competition between media has also increased, so they have to live up to the expectations of their bosses. So it's a combination of all that.
You yourself were also embroiled in a scandal where referee Mike Dennis accused you of ball tampering. How did you personally deal with it?
I think just leave that.
You won't answer that?
No, I don't think so. I don't need to get into all those controversial things.
Even though the viewers are going to want to know your thoughts on it and how you dealt with it?
No.
Okay.
Not at this time. I would answer some stage, but not at this time.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully when you do decide to answer it, you'll pick up. Side of actual cricket, you're the most sponsored player in the world, and you endorse everything from shoes to toothpaste to credit cards. You're a comic book hero these days as well. How much does all that other peripheral stuff feature in your life?
It started in, obviously, the day I started playing for India. The offers started coming to me, and the first 4 or 5 years, my brother looked after everything, and then I signed up with WorldTel so that I could focus only on cricket and nothing else. And there was a clear-cut understanding between us that nothing comes in between cricket. So whenever I was touring or practicing, there were no commercial shot or no commercial obligations were taking place at that time, and that really worked very well for me. So I would say the other side was also equally important, which also gave me a lot of exposure, taught me a lot of things in life other than cricket. But the fact was, it was all happening because of cricket. I remember when I first held a cricket bat when I was probably 4 or 5, and the love for cricket only grew bigger and bigger after that, and it hasn't stopped. Every outing is a special one, and growing up as a kid, I mean, I always dreamt of playing for India, and I still remember when I started playing club cricket, I was only 11. So I used to keep asking my brother Ajit, who guided me all the way through, and even today helps out in whatever problems that I have in my batting and outside cricket as well. So I kept asking him, so when am I going to play for India? I mean, and I was pretty sure, very confident that one day I will. But that wait was, I was getting impatient. I wanted to get in the team as early as possible and start playing for India, because I grew up watching all my heroes, and I wanted to be doing all those things which I saw as a kid. I remember my first experience at Wankhede Stadium, when I was there as a ball boy. Just next to the dressing room, I was specifically appointed that position so that I could, see all the players walking in and out, and from close distance, and see how the atmosphere is at an international game. And that was an amazing experience, because I got a chance to meet all the Indian cricketers there in the dressing room, and special meeting with Sunil Gavaskar at that stage was memorable.
Do you still get the same rush now when you walk out onto the ground?
Yes, I do. It is a special place. That is what I've dreamt of as a kid, and I'm living that dream, and it's just fabulous. Every time I walk out, you hear the crowd going crazy. I mean, it's just a special feeling. I mean, I consider myself so fortunate that I can walk out there in the middle and the whole stadium is backing me.
You made your first-class debut for Mumbai at the age of 14. How normal a childhood did you have? Do you feel like you missed out on anything, or were you just luckier than the rest?
Yes, I mean, there were days when I felt like bunking a practice session. I used to be playing with my friends, doing, either playing with tennis ball or something, like playing lawn tennis or playing soccer or playing hockey. And those were the times when my brother and my coach didn't let me do all those things. They said, no, you're not spending time here. You're getting in the nets, you're padding up and batting in the nets. You're working on your technique. And that really helped. Eventually, all these things, all those sessions where I wanted to miss, you put them all together, all those hours, and they really matter. All those things, if they hadn't happened, I probably may not be, sitting in front of you.
You've played for India since, the 1980s. You must have seen some huge changes in the game over that period of time. What's different now?
Well, the first thing I remember in 1989 when I made my debut was there used to be a rest day in between a test match. And today, if you see, there are just 10 minutes in between 2020 match. So there has been a huge change. I mean, the laws changed. The rules for short pitch bowling changed. The wide balls. Even in one-day cricket, anything going slightly down the leg is a wide ball. All those things have changed. A bouncer being introduced in a one-day match again has changed. So many things have changed since 1989, and I've been part of it. It's wonderful, and that made the game exciting as well. So all those changes eventually were to also generate that excitement amongst the people and also amongst the players.
It would seem that you're a bit of a movie buff, but in my research of you, I did hear that you're such a celebrity in this place that the only time that you can go to the cinema is under cover of darkness, and you've got to be in disguise to do it.
Not
Isn't
really.
it a hassle being so famous?
Right. Earlier we tried doing that. It was just for fun. I mean, I tried a disguise, and
did it work?
With specs. I dropped the specs, and one side the glass broke, and only one side the glass was there, and it was funny outing. I enjoyed doing that. It was something different.
Did people recognize you?
But I don't have to always do all those things. It's pretty normal out. Sometimes things get exaggerated.
Did anybody recognize you?
They did, because from my hair, I mean, they could recognize. I used to have long hair.
Yeah, I remember.
Nowadays it's a little shorter side, but from my hair they could recognize me. Yeah.
What do your kids think of the fact that their dad is, revered and treated as a god in this country?
To be honest, I didn't discuss cricket with my kids, both of them. My son is now 8, but almost till the age of 4 or so, I didn't discuss anything about cricket with him. He didn't know. Just to tell you a story about my daughter, I mean, when I started a restaurant, the teacher in their class they normally read out newspapers and just let them know what's happening around. So my daughter was probably 4 at that time, and she didn't know anything about the restaurant and all that. The teacher said there is you know, Sachin Tendulkar, a cricketer. He's just started a restaurant, so would you like to go to that restaurant and all those kind of things. And my daughter raised her arm up and she said, even my father's name is Sachin Tendulkar. So that was, I thought that was cute. And then, you know, she didn't know that. I mean, I preferred them to have a normal lifestyle, you know. Any child should be brought up in a manner where he has total freedom, and, you know, there is no pressure on him. And that is what I believe, and we both, me and Anjali, we've both tried to do that with both our kids.
Your wife, Anjali.
That's right. I mean,
great name.
That's what. Yes, Anjali is a great name.
Welcome back to Talk Asia. My guest today is cricket great Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin, if I do a few quick-fire questions at you and you quick-fire the answers back. Ready?
I'll try my best.
Okay. Who's the best bowler you've ever faced?
There have been many bowlers. I mean, since 1989, the first name comes to my mind is Malcolm Marshall, then Richard Hadley, Imran Khan, so many top bowlers, and right to Brett Lee, I mean, who's played for a few years, and he's one of the best bowlers in the world. So I mean, it's hard. I mean, Shane Warne, Muralidharan, Anil Kumble, you name it, and it's not enough. I mean, it's so. I think all these bowlers who've got more than, you know, literally 400, 500 wickets, it would be unfair to just single out one guy because they all are in top category.
Best batsman you've ever bowled to?
Many batsmen, but I think someone I would like to watch is Brian Lara. I think he's special.
How do you rate yourself among the greats?
I've done reasonably well.
Reasonably well?
I can say that the dream was to be regarded as one of the top players in the world. And I think I've managed to get there. And that's a good feeling.
Match you'd most like to forget?
I think the World Cup finals in 2003, where, you know, you look back and you feel that, yes, I mean, it was a huge disappointment, you know, after such a high. You know, we played so well throughout the tournament, and just towards the end, you know, we couldn't, because probably we were, you know, too charged up. We wanted that cup so badly that, you know, we tried so hard, rather too hard to win, and you know, it didn't work out. So it's something I would like to forget.
Match you'd like to relive?
The match against Pakistan in the same World Cup, because you know, such a hype was created. Almost a year before that match, people had started talking about that match. That you know, India-Pakistan is the match, and we all are going to come all the way to South Africa just to watch that game, and then we come back. So probably that match.
At the end of the 2007 World Cup, your form was quite heavily criticised, and some people said, you know, the end was nigh for you, and others were, you know, calling on you outright to retire. How did you take it when people said that you were washed up? Did you let it get to you?
Not really. I'm a positive person. I'm not one of those who, you know, dwell on the past. I like to move forward, and these challenges, these you know, hurdles in between, they bring the best out of me. They motivate me even more. And it was a disappointing moment, a huge disappointing moment, but I came back and I started working back on my game. I trained harder, and I wanted to perform better. I'm kind of a person, if I perform well, then I want to perform better, and if I've not done well, then I want to try and work on my game. So eventually all my practice sessions are to see that how better I can get in all the departments of the game, and as far as fitness is also concerned, how could I make myself better, or at least maintain the standard fitness that I've had for so many years.